What's going on, y'all? Listen, sorry I'm late. Over here baking some chicken. And don't y'all start with the stereotyping. It's not no fried chicken, okay? Don't y'all start. I see y'all. I'm doing Korean barbecue chicken tonight. Can't wait to have it, y'all. But yo, thank you so much for coming back to another Geekly Goods Roundup, y'all. Whew, a little out of breath. Just ran up the stairs. But thank you so much, y'all. Listen, here every week on the Geekly Goods Roundup, we talk the latest movie news, whether that's Marvel, DC, movies, and TV. Yo, the main headline stuff we're talking about. Now, this week, we got a lot to dive into. Apparently, Ryan Reynolds might be confirmed for Doomsday. One publication saying one thing, another saying another. So we'll talk about it. Gadot with some strange comments, absolutely bizarre comments about why Snow White failed. I'm sure it has nothing to do with her acting, right? Anyway, we will get to that as well as the box office for weapons to talk about because, man, this thing is 2 weeks in a row going on at number one, you guys, and nobody too. Seems like nobody likes it because that just came out and it is number 3 at the box office. But y'all, we'll be talking about all that and more today. Let me get my co-hosts in here, y'all. But I want to just real quick thank you guys so much for getting us to this point at the channel, y'all. We had 115 new subscribers yesterday. Thank you guys so much for coming onto the channel, joining us here, and definitely stay tuned for more videos. But y'all, let me get my co-hosts in here to chat some news, y'all. What's going on, Lo? How are you? Uh-oh.
What up? We good?
Yeah, how are you? Uh-oh.
Chilling, man. Chilling. It's a chill Monday evening. I did like 30 flights of stairs earlier, something like that. I was doing some fight training, so I'm feeling the day, but I'm, always happy to talk shop with the crew and get down to business with some of the news this week. So
that is crazy. My man been up and down them stairs. That is amazing, bro. 30 flights, Lo. Dude, I could not even touch that. So right on, brother. But what's up? I almost called you Lo. What's up, Elay? How are you?
It's okay. I'm doing good. I'm getting over a cold. We were just talking about it off air. If you have something to say about my little chain smoker laugh, at least make it funny.
Not the little chain smoker laugh.
I have my chain smoker laugh going on because of this cold, and everyone, they called me a Muttley today. And you know what? Ooh. I think that's funny as hell.
Yo, I love, it's weird to say this, but I kind of love laughing when I'm sick because you get that like weird kind of like old person laugh, and it just is funny to you.
Yeah. And at least, it keeps you entertained while you're still recovering from, disease. But, that's what I got going on. But, other than that, we're thriving. We're surviving and we're thriving.
We're thriving and surviving. Yes, that deserves a round of applause. Rodney Dollar. I ain't seen you in the comments in a little while, Rod.
Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. Oh my gosh.
Welcome back, Rodney. You deserve a round of applause, my friend. And we also got Tough Luck. Yo, we will be absolutely diving into these comments. Who's saying, I'll save my Deadpool comments for later. It's on the box office topic. I'm just glad the Fantastic Four has stabilized starting this weekend and that it'll soon break even at 500 million. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk a little bit about Fantastic Four, but let's get into the stories, you guys. Starting off with the box office pulse, y'all. We take a quick check of the pulse of the box office, checking out all the top 5 movies and more on the box office and giving you the latest news and updates from the box office, guys. Starting off with Weapons, which stands strong at a number 1 2 weeks in a row, you guys. 2 weeks. Now, I'll ask you guys after I get through these, but number 2, Freakier Friday. Yo, listen, Legacy sequel made its debut, did a damn good thing, got some numbers right on Freakier Friday. Just saw yesterday. Fucking awesome. Nobody 2, a sequel that didn't do as well with only 9.25 million domestic. Yikes. This was, listen, I actually, shame to say it, I haven't seen the first one, but everybody tells me it's like John Wick. It's like, and I'm like, yo, dude, this is not looking like John Wick numbers. Just saying. And then Fantastic Four and the Bad Guys 2 are at 4 and 5 with Superman at number 6. Little asterisk on Superman, because it's actually, I think I read that it was the 5th highest grossing DC movie ever, which is crazy to think. Like, oh man, they just had the whole DCEU, they went through the whole gamut, and the first James Gunn's first comes in at their top 5 of all time. Crazy, absolutely crazy. Lo, I'm gonna throw it to you first, my man. What you think about Weapons staying at number 1 in the rest of the box office here?
I think it's fantastic. I personally love the film. We yapped about it last week. Me and Eli did. I can't believe it's almost at 150 worldwide. That is huge for a horror movie, and you love to see it. Hats off again to Zach Kreger, man. He's got a really creative mind, and I really love what he's done with both Barbarian and Weapons. I gotta say this. I didn't hate Nobody 2. That's actually one of my favorite directors in the game. Timo Tonto. He's like an action guy. He did like a couple of action films for Netflix. But yeah, nobody came out to see it. It's more or less the same movie, so I guess there's not a lot to maybe pull people in. Maybe people don't vibe with Bob Odenkirk like others do. But I thought it was fun, and I think for the thing is, anybody that loved Nobody would like this one. But at the same time, Nobody didn't make a killing at the box office. So yeah, I thought it was fun. I guess maybe it's just bad timing. Maybe not the time for that movie to come out. I don't know.
Yeah, Rodney's saying Nobody 2, a little bit better than the first one. Yeah, I think you're right with the bad timing. August is just kind of a weird ground for movies. Weapons is dominating right now in August, and everything else is kind of just like floating around, has legs or doesn't. I think Nobody 2. I wonder, is Bob Odenkirk a big reach outside of TV? Because I mean, Better Call Saul, phenomenal show. Breaking Bad,
Right.
phenomenal show. But am I going to the movie theater to see Bob Odenkirk? I think
Right.
Keanu Reeves and the John Wick franchise, like, yeah, everybody knows Keanu Reeves. Neo from The Matrix. His other roles. So it's easy to fall into wanting to see Keanu Reeves in something new. Does Bob Odenkirk have that same pull? I'm thinking not. So
I think this is interesting too, right? I'm wondering if 87 North is just kind of, because their action's great, right? Like, I thought Love Hurts was fun for what it was, but it also feels like between Love Hurts and Nobody, like, it's starting to feel kind of formulaic. Like, they're kind of like,
100%.
what's Eli's phrase? Reheating the nachos a little bit.
Reheating them damn nachos. They're getting rubbery. They're getting rubbery, Lo.
So
it's the opposite of the sexy bacon.
And I think like 87 North is a great production company, but I think they gotta like mix up the flavor with some of their stuff. Because I'll be honest, there's not a lot that differentiates Love Hurts from Nobody, minus the fact that you're watching Ke Huy Quan versus Bob Odenkirk. But their arc and the way the movie flowed was very similar, and it's like the action only takes you so far, I think, and I think it's showing with the box office.
And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I love Ke Huy Quan. I love him to death. He's a great human being, beautiful soul, amazing acting ability. Another name that I just don't think has that drawing power. When it comes to John Wick, and I'm gonna say, maybe even Ana de Armas doesn't touch that level. But when it comes to Keanu Reeves, that's just somebody that whose name rings out. My dad knows Keanu Reeves. My grandpa knows Keanu Reeves. We all know Keanu Reeves. Can't say their other movies. Like, not everybody knows Ke Huy Quan. Sure, you know him from Indiana Jones and the Goonies, but that was years ago. And so the same could be Bob Odenkirk. Yeah, you know him as Saul. But do I want to see Saul in like this action epic before it hits streaming services where I watched Better Call Saul in the first place? It just, I think stars are maybe not big enough. Eli, what do you think? Let us know what you think about Weapons. And then what is it with Nobody 2 and 87 North? Is it just not star power? Is it lacking in creative storytelling? What do you think?
Well, let me get my excitement out of the way with Weapons being at number 1. One of my favorite horror films of the year. Like Lo said, we yapped about it on and on last week, and I controversially said that horror is a genre that honestly helps keep the box office alive. case in point. Original, at the end of the day, it's original storytelling, and good original stories sell. Maybe they don't always have the right factors surrounding them. There's always like a multitude of factors that we talk about and we love to dive into on this show. But I think this was just kind of a perfect storm up against Fantastic Four that's kind of lost quite a bit of steam at the box office, because there's just, again, we've gone through it. We love Fantastic Four. We know why, but is it really that? Does it have that rewatchability factor at this point? 4 weeks into the game now, whereas you have such buzzy word of mouth with Weapons, and it's such a different and shocking horror movie, much more shocking, surprisingly so, than Together, which we don't even see on this top 5 here. So I'm sure Neon is, taking some notes with this scenario. But moving on to Nobody, I haven't seen the first film. I know that I've seen the trailers for it. I've seen the marketing for it, or at least the first one. The second one, to me as a moviegoer, went super under the radar in terms of marketing. So that could also be a factor. But like you were saying, Leo, I think, and with this comment on Nobody, and then I'll comment on the rest of 87 North Productions. Bob Odenkirk is such a niche, he has a very niche fandom online. Yes, people love him on TV, but again, being on really, let's say, premium or high level, television programs that have such a good, loyal fan base, Better Call Saul even struggled to win Emmys. It's hard for Bob Odenkirk to, get people to the box office. Like, I see Nobody too, and I see a straight to Prime Video film, no shade. But that's kind of how I feel about everything else that 87 North Films Productions has put out. You see, even the trailers are kind of the same template. Like, I feel like they, and making a trailer is an art form. We've talked about it here on the show. But when you see something like, and I'm talking about the trailers here, I'm not talking about the movies, but when you see a trailer for Love Hurts, you see a trailer for Nobody too, they look like they're in the same CapCut template with the same kind of little transitions and quips and formula. And it's not something that gets people's butts into theaters anymore. Look at Ballerina. Ballerina has really successful IP behind it. And even that wasn't enough to get people in the theaters. Like, Ana de Armas is an Academy Award nominee, but she's not a major box office sensation either. And that's not hating to her acting ability. I think she's a fine actress and she's nice, but it's really just garners the question, did we need this? Which is something we tend to ask each other and ourselves very often. I don't know. It's just, if you're going to do action, I think once again, we're seeing the rock, paper, scissors game of the box office is story is always gonna crush action. Story is always gonna crush that, that big box office draw in terms of actors. But because what I just said about Bob Odenkirk, you could also very much say about Julia Garner. Julia Garner is beloved on Ozark, I think. But Ozark is also premium television. People liked her a lot, especially for the meme and Fantastic Four as I forget how to pronounce her name, but the Silver Surfer. But it's just, again, good story, good writing, a good concept, a good hook is going to trump everything else. It really is. And people are being Shalabal, thank you. And people are being way more protective of their wallet. I'm telling you, if you're gonna go pay $20 to $30 to $40 just to go out to the movie theaters on their precious, night free of work and other responsibilities, people are going to get really, really picky with the movies they go see. And we're seeing that time and time again with the box office, in particular this year.
Yo, I want to give a quick shout out to Laser.
Yes, sir.
Here, Laser Michael.
He's multitasking.
I think he's been to I think he's been about 100 roundups, man. So thank you so much for being our number one fan of the roundup, man. Thank you so much. I agree with a lot of what you said. I think there's a slight difference between Julia Garner, Ozark, and Bob Odenkirk, because Bob Odenkirk is the main character of a spinoff of the main show.
Fair.
Whereas she is a main character in the main show. So I think if Saul has a decently big role, more so toward the back half of the series, but he's not a main character. Like if it was Aaron Paul, okay, then I think that's a little bit more of like an accurate comparison. But I think with Bob Odenkirk is even more niche because he was the star of a spinoff and he was like a side character in the main one. So I think Julia Garner, and plus Julia Garner, man, she's been in everything this year. I mean, Fantastic Four, this, the Wolfman. So I think the audiences are especially horror audiences are starting to really learn who she is and really identify with her a lot. And I think it's kind of like when it comes to story and action and stars, it's like a perfect marriage. It's kind of like you need now, especially more than ever, you need that perfect marriage of the three. Because like you were saying, there is just a lot of competition. Look at this top 5 weapons, Freaky or Friday, Nobody 2, Fantastic Four, Bad Guys 2. Any of those 5 movies, I could find myself being like, yeah, we'll go check that out. Yeah, sure. So there's a lot of cross-pollination. There's a lot of people that want to see multiple of these, but hey, the wallet's screaming and I can only get to one. Yeah, I'm going to go watch Weapons 100%. Instead of Fantastic Four 5 times. That's what people are saying, not me personally, but that's how families and consumers are consuming movies now. They're like, yeah, I got the budget for Weapons and that's it this month. That's all I can do. And I get it, man. Yo, Fantastic Four, I've been saying it for weeks. Between me, my girlfriend, her mom, Fantastic Four was over $100 for standard definition, y'all. Standard. So, yo, the buying power is absolutely being diversified. And with streaming, killing it. Wednesday did incredible. Yo, dude, it's just the competition is way too stacked. And I think with 87 North, I think I agree with you, Eli, in terms of the trailer. I think there are some similarities where it's like, okay, what's going to hook me into this? And while there are some key differences, I definitely think that they all do scream like, I can wait for Amazon Prime, or I can. Unfortunately, none of the productions, I know Ballerina's in there. I love Ana de Armas, love Keanu Reeves. I think what went wrong with Ballerina is it was not marketed as a John Wick film enough.
Yeah,
dude, from the tales of John Wick or the story, fuck that, throw that out. John Wick : Ballerina.
Yeah, but then you would also have people complaining not enough John Wick, you know.
That's true, but I think
it's kind of a birds of prey situation in that sense.
I think if you at least add a little bit more John Wick marketing to that, you get a little bit more of that audience in there. Because if I'm just looking at the box office and I see Ballerina, I'm like, who? What? Okay, I'm gonna go to Weapons or
I got it. Ballerina, a John Wick story. Wait, that doesn't work.
No, oh man, we tried that. Try that. Go back to the drawing board. Nah, I think Ballerina, you got to go back to drawing board with that script. I think that script needed some love. It really did. It was lacking. It was lacking in a lot of aspects, and I think people are clocking it, man. People are clocking like, that looks, like a fun but kind of crappy movie.
Well, I would say for like a John Wick movie, I'm not going to it for the script. Personally, that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I know the story's gonna be kind of, the script. John Wick says, 5 times throughout the script. So I'm just like, but like with Ballerina, I just think what it was, in my opinion, I just think the marketing was terrible, absolutely horrible. Yeah. And they swap gears last minute. And we're like, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Nah, man. Nah, y'all should have came out the gate, John Wick : Ballerina, or Ballerina : John Wick 4 or whatever. They just didn't market it well enough, in my opinion.
You know, it's a good point too. I didn't realize nobody came out 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I had to think about it. I was like, when did that first one come out? 2021, guys.
That's crazy.
Rodney's heading to a Neza 2 screening. Leo haven't been here
a lot of buzz about
I got a
that.
call for that too, but just couldn't make it today.
Yeah, same. I was just like, dude, I missed last week's and this week's. I just couldn't do it.
Oh,
Need a great story and B+ acting. The days of Endgame and Infinity War are over after Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah, they're gonna really have to like do that soft reboot they're talking about.
I mean, honestly, and this is my take on it, and more from like I guess economics perspective. Technically, a more competitive market is a healthier market. It's healthier that we have more movies getting their like piece of the pie rather than having one competitor monopolize the market, which was kind of basically what's been happening with between Marvel and DC in the past couple of years. So I think this is healthy. You still have Marvel in that top 5. I think that's perfectly fine. They've made their money back. I wouldn't say it's a Fantastic Four is a flop either. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone has something fun to see for or their own interests. And yeah, there's more to choose from, but that gives you more power as a consumer as well.
Yeah, and y'all, we'll at the end of the show, we'll touch on Wednesday, Freakier Friday. We all saw some stuff this week that we really like, so we will absolutely talk about that at the end of the show. But speaking of Marvel, man, oh man, so we've got this weird debacle going on, right? The Hollywood Reporter reported that Ryan Reynolds is here. They put it in their Heat Vision newsletter, and they said that Ryan Reynolds has been confirmed for, or we're hearing from our sources, yes, he's been confirmed for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Then Deadline comes out maybe about 20 minutes later. It's like, actually, asterisk, nah, we're hearing from our sources he hasn't been in London. He's not a part of it. And Ryan Reynolds, before all this, did post a cryptic Instagram post with an Avengers logo and an A anarchy symbol. This to me just sounds like Marvel damage control. Like maybe the Hollywood Reporter said something and they're like, hey, Deadline, get on him real quick. Don't say no. Ryan Reynolds, I'm letting y'all know now, he is absolutely in Doomsday. They are not going to say, hey, we're going to bring back the characters from the $500 million earning movie, but not the ones from the $1.2 billion earning movie. Yes, Deadpool is going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Absolutely. But how do we feel about Ryan Reynolds being in Doomsday and Secret Wars? And I mean, do we think he is? Maybe he's not. Maybe they're saving him for Secret Wars. I'm going to toss it to you first, Eli. What do we think?
I mean, okay. How do I put this without sounding like a hater? I think that yes, Deadpool and Wolverine is an incredibly successful movie. I think that it really does accomplish what it sets out to do, and what it does that well. And it is that corner of the MCU that is very raunchy, very campy, and very much likes to appeal to that very nostalgic kind of old school sense of humor and in the fandom. But is it going to just kind of fit into that main MCU tone and plot line? I don't know. It feels very weird to me on paper in terms of numbers. Yeah, sure. I'm sure it could attract a really wide audience in terms of marketing. But I think that would kind of hurt it in the long run unless they have like this incredible, idea in the story that we just haven't thought of and we just don't know about that really makes him mesh well with the rest of that cast. I don't know. I would honestly, if I saw Deadpool on my screen while watching Avengers, I'm not gonna lie, I would roll my eyes. I would kind of roll my eyes at it. I don't think I would be excited because it just feels weird. It's just tonally just way too different for it to work for me. Again, unless they've come up with something really, really, really amazing and really clever as a way to integrate him and make him work with the rest of the team. I feel like his constant need for attention, not just as an actor, but as a character, is gonna take me out of it. It's gonna take me out of it, and that's just me. Even though it's very comic book accurate, because yes, I have read many Deadpool panels of him interacting with other Marvel characters, but that works on the page. I can't guarantee it's gonna work on screen, but I'm willing to give it a try. But it concerns me. It really does.
I totally understand that concern because it does feel like, especially the Deadpool movies are so wildly different in tone, right? Let me give you the Infinity War equivalent. Yeah, for 100%, because they're so self-contained, and bringing in Wolverine like really helped that dynamic. Let me give you the equivalent in Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, let me tell you why Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of like that equivalent, because they had already been a group. They had already had the kind of quippy, funny, goofy thing going on. But what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy involved in Infinity War and Infinity War Endgame, they kind of weren't like the main star of the show. They were like, hey, like, we're chilling in the ship. You call us when you need us. Star-Lord didn't disappear, but hey, Nebula's still around. I think that's what's going to happen with Deadpool and Wolverine. They're not going to be like the main centerpiece, but I think with where Deadpool 3, or here I am, Deadpool and Wolverine, where that went with the TVA, I think they're going to cross paths with Loki and be involved in that storyline. But I think the main overarching people are going to be like Sam Wilson, Captain Marvel. Like those are your main core group. The Shang-Chi, kind of like those are like the main Avengers team. Shuri, all of those people are going to be like the forefront center. And I think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, because I mean, come on, you bringing them both back. I think the two of them are just kind of going to be like, hey, we're here with the X-Men universe or with the TVA or whatever. I don't think they're going to be the main attraction, because it was kind of the same. I had that same thought about the Guardians at first. I was like, oh, the Guardians. Oh, okay. But I think they're going to be out doing their own thing. They'll still have a central need for the plot, but hopefully it doesn't result in what happened with Star-Lord and fucking everything up. But I think they're going to have their own little kind of side thing going on that really appeals to the greater story.
For sure. I think as long as they stay in that lane, it works.
But Lo, what do you think, man?
Go
ahead.
Oh, yeah. So my initial thought was very similar to Eli's, because it was like, I kind of didn't want to see him. I felt like it was a little too early. I know Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion. I know, but it feels a little early to see him in an Avengers film. However, now that I'm thinking about the cast, like Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, and you know what I mean? Like if we slide Hugh Jackman in there, maybe there is a place for him. But to Eli's point, as long as he doesn't kind of, overdo it, DTM, do too much or something like that, and kind of steal the show, because I mean, obviously Doomsday is gonna be a spectacle no matter what. But to Eli's point, though, Ryan Reynolds is a force of nature, especially when he's doing the Deadpool shtick. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, I don't hate it, I don't love it, but I just hope it gets written in well. So,
yeah, and I think that's what you need here. I think you need a good writer, and I know the Russo brothers have been on a fucking destructive run, but when it comes to Marvel, they somehow know what they're doing. Maybe it's Papa Feige coming downstairs and being like, "Hey, man, take this out, redo this. Okay, now we have the movie." Fine, but whatever magic they create in Marvel, it has worked. Infinity War in my top 10. Captain America Civil War in my top 10. Winter Soldier in my top 10. So the Russo brothers, I feel, will be able to handle this volume of characters. If it was somebody else, like who they have originally, the dude from Doctor Strange, who wrote Doctor Strange, I was like, oh no, Multiverse of Madness.
The camera
Hit the cancel button. But Michael Waldron was his name. Didn't he do Loki or something too? Didn't he?
Yeah,
do Loki?
He was like, he helped develop Loki.
Right.
Okay.
So
again, Loki was kind of its own beast, and it was weird. It was quirky. Like Loki has a weird energy about it, but it works for that show, like.
Yeah.
For sure.
Michael Waldron. Let me just look him up, y'all.
I do really like the comparison with the Guardian, like what you were mentioning, Leo, with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's not exactly the same. Like I wouldn't call it, apples and oranges, but for sure, I think the Russo brothers have proven that they can handle 15 plus characters in the same script. And it's not an easy feat. And I know there's a lot of criticism, posthumously with Infinity War and Endgame. And it's nothing's ever perfect. And there's always going to be something to nitpick at, right? But overall, everyone had their moments. And I think if they just really lock into that, I think we're just going to be fine.
Absolutely. And one thing they did really brilliantly with Infinity War, they had James Gunn come in and direct the Guardians part. So I was like, okay, you got the guy who like shaped these characters. I think that was brilliant. I hope they do that with Sean Levy and bring him in and say, okay, we're going to help shape Deadpool around your thing. But
even if just a consult,
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's just kind of on the side consulting, I think that would be really, really solid.
For sure.
Oh man, we got to do a Tron Legacy or Tron Ares. Jared Leto, that man. Oh Lord.
Exactly that, Rodney. Man. Exactly that.
Exactly that.
You know what's funny? Like he went from like Oscar-winning caliber actor Jared Leto, like you hold him in high regard, and all of a sudden, like the world just turned.
That's what happens when you make a cult, man.
For real.
I don't know. Did it start with Joker? Is that when the audiences turned on him? Maybe I think it was Joker, right? Like
probably more or less around that time. Yeah. It was also
his thug Joker with the grill and the tattoos.
Oh my god!
What a fucking embarrassment.
I feel like David Ayer got way more heat than Jared Leto for that travesty.
Right.
Well, and he want to come out and be like, well, I have my cut. No, we don't want to see it, dude. We're done.
Keep it. Tape it up.
Keep it, sir.
Oh,
all right, y'all. We'll go to our next story here, which is very... So this is dicey, okay? Let's talk about this, y'all. So Gal Gadot went on to Israel TV and talked a little bit about Snow White, filming Snow White. And she absolutely kind of went in about what's going on in Hollywood, and she talked about Snow White and that it was affected mostly by the pressure to be anti-Israel in Hollywood. And here's the thing, y'all. Most people will agree with the comments. I see Rodney and Tough Luck talking about it. Yeah, the fucking acting was bad, but I do think there's a small point here. And I think that it was like the pro-Israel audience, or I'm sorry, the pro-Palestine audience was like, see ya, Gal Gadot's in this thing? I think it's Gal. I think Gal was a big part and a big reason why people didn't see this. I don't think it's only that, and I don't think it's the major reason. I think the biggest reason is, who the fuck asked for Snow White to be redone? Like Lion King, Jungle Book, all this other stuff. It's like, okay, these are very colorful stories that really sort of bring to life, and you can see fucking Snow White, the first Disney movie. Young girls don't identify to that. Like, and I know they changed it, and yes, Rachel Zegler did a great job of modernizing the character. People associate Snow White with, I'm gonna clean the house, and I'm gonna no. Like, we're not. This is just a relic at this point. And I think that had the most to do with it, was that people were just not interested. Because who out of the three of us or anybody that's younger that who the fuck is interested in Snow White? Barely anybody.
Damn soul.
I'm doing it to you, Eli. What do you think about her comments? I just think Gal has been on a fucking burner in terms of PR and roles after this. She had just been
Well, that's what happens foolish. When you're a Zionist. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to speak. You don't know how to express yourself without offending other people and without being incredibly insensitive and inhumane. It's just part of who she is at her core. And I think at this point, the same reason, same thing we were talking about with Gina Carano. What was it, last week or the week before? Fade into irrelevance. Fade into irrelevance. The pressure, Hollywood has a pressure to be anti-Israel. Ask Melissa Barrera if there's a pressure to be anti-Israel in Hollywood. Every sentiment across media right now is a pressure to be right-wing, is pressure to be more conservative. Everyone is pulling back. everyone being like studios are pulling back on being more diverse, on showing queer stories, showing stories about people of color. This is not a good actress to begin with. So it's not a loss, first of all. Second of all, she has never had anything good to say about this situation and never showed any empathy or humanity. And once again, even if this was the only reason people didn't go to see Snow White, which is clearly obviously not the case, I think is a damn good reason to not go see Snow White. Why would people be, running to the theaters to go support this when a lot of people disagree with it? And I think it's just something as basic as, I don't want to go see a movie and contribute my hard-earned money to an actress or an actor or creator or whatever creative behind that project that wants to see people die. It is truly, to me in my little brain, that simple. So let her fade into irrelevance, and let's stop giving her a platform. And she said this over on her own country's channels. She's going to continue to be the D-list actress that she is. It is what it is. And that's my piece.
Maxwell Lord, you have to give me the stone.
And it's always been so weird. I never liked that meme because I don't like making people like fun of people's accents. That's kind of mean. But damn it, she's really she's just kind of walked into all of the memeing and just bad press that she's got. She's really begged for the bad press that she's had. And it is really not that hard to avoid it. She could have said something more positive. She could even been more neutral. There's so many like big actors that have also not been supportive of a free Palestine that have been just fine because they've just literally shut up.
Yeah.
Like she just couldn't shut up.
Because there's another piece to this article as well where, because I think it was brought up if the film was suffering because of her acting. And I just thought that was a really funny deflection. She's like, "Oh no, it's because of this," and it's like,
and it's not because you can't sing.
it's like it might be a little bit because of your acting, gal. Like,
no kidding.
A little bit.
I saw a TikTok. Imagine that. The few people that are still talking about it is like Broadway TikTok, where they're like, this is what happens when, you don't cast a Broadway or theatrically trained actress in a musical, and they just compare her to like other incredible Broadway actresses playing evil witches.
Yeah, the acting was just so bad. So bad. I'm sorry. It was just, and listen, I'm gonna keep it real. I watched it and I actually thought, well, shit, her bad acting actually lends to this. And I think I was in the minority. But I will say the bad acting had to do a little bit with it. But also, yeah, nobody was like wowed by Snow White. And I'll admit, I even really like Snow White. I really, really liked it. But I wasn't going to sit up here and be like, let me call my damn family and say, get over to the theater right now and talk about Snow White. Because my goodness, it is amazing. I didn't say that to not a person, not a single person.
But also to Eli's point though, like, why are we still talking about Snow White? Like, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
No, I just really, really carefully wanted to address this comment. Conservatives were the majority people. So let me just tell you, tough luck. We want to make movies that reflect real life. So just because the large mass of the audience is Caucasian, we want to make movies and TV that reflect reality, which is not just Caucasian. So I just want to let you know that and move on. Kevin made a good point here. Dominic Thorne wasn't bashing nobody. People still root for Ironheart to fail. Well, Kevin, you know why. I think you know why.
Wow.
If it's a black woman, yeah, they're going to root for her to fail. It sucks. It's terrible. But yeah, there's just a lot of misogyny and racism in this fandom. It's unfortunate. But let's move on to our next story, y'all. The first official trailer for Good Boy just dropped, which I love the synopsis of this. I think it's so interesting a horror film through a dog's perspective. That's crazy.
Love it.
Real quick, I just want to go ahead and play the trailer. What's up, Lo? You okay?
No, it's just like I hella feel for the pupper. I love doggos, and tell me why. Like, he's a good actor. I'm just watching this trailer and I'm so enthralled because this puppy is emoting so perfectly. And it's like, how do you direct a dog in a movie? Like, that's just fascinating to me. But also this story, what the hell? Like, this story,
it's giving presents.
I'm seated. Yeah, it's giving presents, but it's like it's also interesting to just have that lens, like seeing a ghost story from another perspective. Like,
please don't pull it all Yeller though. Please, like,
oh, they're gonna have to.
Tyler, hey, I'm on this train. We need a dog Oscar.
I mean, I'm sure there was some, you know, there's sometimes CGI use is so invisible to us, we don't even realize it. I'm sure, you know, they
like
used a little bit, just a little bit, maybe to enhance expressions that were already there.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know, truly. But I think, what was it? Ted Lasso was one of those things where I was like, okay, you've kind of blown my mind with the CGI use for something so contemporary. Because there's things I'd never even thought of.
All right, y'all. Let's check out the trailer real quick because I have not seen it yet.
Oh, it's good.
Oh my God, y'all. They messed this up. I'm gonna lose my shit if this dog is hurt at all.
Bruh.
Marley and me, but make it scary.
Love the perspective.
Oh, hey boy. No. Oh. That's amazing.
Look at his face.
I guess I'm next. I should never have come here.
Oh my gosh.
Shit. That looks awesome. So
yeah.
I'm just letting y'all know right now, you're hearing it here first. I'm going to be angry as hell if this dog does not make it to the movie. I'm going to be so mad.
Hey, they better leave him alone. All right.
I'm going to go to you first, Mo. What you think about this movie, the trailer, the premise? What do you think, man, as the horror aficionado of the show? What do you think?
I'm excited, man. Like I said, this doesn't surprise me considering the year we've had in horror. Like I said, Sinners, 28 years later, Weapons, going back to like Companion in the beginning of the year, like really, really awesome original horror. And I think, I mean, it's too early to tell, but this might kind of line up with how good this year has been. I personally like The Monkey, but yeah, I love the premise. I love the setups. And I think the tension, just from the dog's perspective, is gonna be really fun. I think, you know, like, because dogs do have a little bit of an extra sense sometimes, or sometimes I don't know if y'all ever have like a dog and then you catch a dog, look at like a wall, and it's like, boy, what are you looking at? Like, don't. It's like, don't do this to me right now.
You know, when you have a dog and they just bark at the wall.
Right. Or like they look at the corner of the ceiling and it's like, dude, don't do this to me right now.
I have a 4-month-old puppy and luckily he hasn't done that quite yet. But as soon as he does it, I'm like, no, baby boy, you ain't gonna do this to me. You're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna close your eyes. You're not gonna see anything. You know what? You're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Okay. And we're just gonna live happily ever after. And we will live in peace.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I can't wait to check this out.
Really fun.
Yeah,
really
I love
fun.
I love the creativity behind it, and I agree I actually was wrong. I said in the comments last week, I was like, oh, horror is too niche. It's starting to break into that mainstream. It is. It's starting to burst that bubble. Weapons is a big example of this. But not only that, it just has so much room to be creative. It has a supportive fan base. It's not full of crazy nuts. Well, it is, but maybe not as vocally outbursty as some of the other fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
It just has the capacity to be way more creative, and I love seeing these more creative mixes of things like this. Like, yeah, bringing a dog's perspective, I would have never thought of that, so I love it. I think the premise is great, but gosh, man, if they hurt that dog, oh, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
They're already doing great.
You couldn't do it.
Well, Tyler, I take that and I raise you Cat's Eye, the Stephen King adaptation from, I believe, the 80s.
Wait, hold on. Was the cat the main character then?
Yes.
Okay.
But the cat just kind of goes on an adventure. It is from the cat's perspective the entire movie, but it's not as like, it's not the traditional, horror movie that we're seeing more like in this trailer. It's more, let's have this cat interwoven with a lot of folklore that is like kind of horror folklore that is associated with cats. And it's creepy, but it's good. It's definitely very 70s, 80s though. It has that campiness to it. But hey, people like that movie.
It's very, I think the concept is very cool and very creative. I'm not gonna lie, Ileana, you said Cat's Eye, and I was like, the K-pop band?
No! Ooh, gnarly. No, not that. That other thing entirely. Good Lord.
All right, y'all. We'll finish off with this one here, and then we won't chokehold you here for the time. But yo, listen. James Gunn had some interesting comments. Kind of sounded to me like we wanted to duck and dodge past the bullets that were flying our way about Superman in the box office. But the comments he said was that he actually wanted Superman to go to digital a little later, but because Peacemaker's release date apparently got moved, they wanted to put it on digital for people to understand Peacemaker. James Gunn, I'm calling the bluff. I've watched Peacemaker season 2. I've watched 5 episodes of Peacemaker season 2, and you barely have to watch Superman to understand any of this. I'm like Frank Grillo's character. What do we really? What? So there's just not a lot of connective tissue, and I'm not gonna lie. I think he's kind of dancing on the eggshells a little here to just say like, hey, like, it didn't do as great as box office because it is. But I think 5th highest grossing DC movie of all time, like that's an accomplishment. But then you got the Twitterverse,
and it's flirting with 600 mil. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's probably gonna finish out there. But yeah, I'm gonna be real. I just think the man's bluffing. What you think, Lo?
Well, here's my problem. Because look, it's not even that I didn't want to, because I've heard a lot of good things. Like The Boys, I haven't even seen the first Peacemaker's season, so I'm already like behind. I'm already kind of like out of this loop already. But yeah, it's an interesting comment for sure. It's like it definitely feels like he's kind of like sidestepping a little bit, like, oh well, this is what we did. It's like, really? Did you really do that? But yeah, I'll check it out. At some point I gotta watch Peacemaker season 1, so
yeah, that first season is incredible. I'm sorry, and I think that James Gunn gets a lot of criticisms for some of the things he does, kind of the jokey shit and all that. But there is a level of vulnerability in Peacemaker that I just have not felt in any other DC project. Still, even Superman, I really love Superman. I'm gonna be honest, but I still just think that Peacemaker taps into a vulnerable core. And let me tell y'all, John Cena absolutely delivers his best acting ever in this. Okay. Best acting thus far. But Eli, what do you think? Do you think James Gunn's kind of bluffing, kind of just like David Zaslav was like, hey man, shit ain't doing good. We need you to get on Twitter.
I think James Gunn is always overcompensating for something. I think that's just how he talks. Honestly, you can't take the dub with pride. Hey, your movie was great. Your movie did so well at the box office. Maybe it just wasn't profitable to have it overstay its welcome, and you want to open it to a wider audience. There are so many more PR friendly ways to say, hey. Now we want more people to talk about the movie and continue the conversation online and just kind of, it enjoyed its time in the sun. But no, because every time I forget, it's on the top of my head, but James Gunn has like this, how Renee Rapp is famous for not being media trained, even though people have tried. James Gunn has the same problem. Either he's not media trained or he just doesn't care about being media trained, because he has such a like sensitive ego when he talks. As good of a creative as he is, really, he just doesn't know when to. It's same thing with Kevin Feige. They can never even like have the suggestion of having fault with anything. And I think trying to spin it into, oh, you need to watch Superman to understand Peacemaker. No, he put Superman on digital so people would actually watch Peacemaker, because it's like, oh, well, I already paid for the HBO Max subscription. I might as well, watch this other thing. It's just to help his own, series here that actually got him the job he has in the first place.
100%. Like, I'm just like, look, man, like, just be honest. You want Superman to be at a wider audience, and you want to release Superman so people can watch this. 100% agree with you. Like, want people to watch, be interested in Peacemaker. I get it. Like, just say that.
Yeah.
And I think James Gunn, you got to put Twitter down, bro. You got to put Twitter down. I was down for it at first.
Put it down.
Put it down. Because at first I was down for it. I was like, yeah, come, like, just debunk the rumors, please. Like, I thought that James Gunn, I was like, yeah, debunk the stuff, because, like, people just run around with all these crazy rumors and, I got sources and bullshit, and it's not true. And I'm like, okay, I like the debunking stuff. But, man, when we start saying stuff like this, I'm like, James, I hate to say it. I think you're a great creative, but maybe get back to work.
I love when like very much employed people give jobless behavior.
Also, like I think it's his personality. He has no filter. He has like zero filter, and and it's like he really talks with his feelings sometimes. And it's like, dude, you can't get like that with fans or reporters. It's like, dude, don't get too personal. It's a business. Like.
Of course, he's Leo. He's a Leo. His zodiac sign is Leo. I knew it. Man. I was like, yeah. I'm
gonna keep it real. Listen, I love my Leos. I'm not a Leo, but I'm like, yo, like, these Leos, man, they be like, it's all about me. Look over here, it's all about me. I'm like, my goodness.
It's like Sharpay in High School Musical.
Yeah,
I want it all.
That's a Leo right there.
And it doesn't make them bad people, but it makes them people.
Say he turned multiple scoopers into real life Lex Luthors on social media, especially them little Snyder folk. Oh, he had the people mad as hell when he posted that picture of him and Zack Snyder, arms around each other, buddied up. Oh, people were mad as hell.
Yeah,
I will say,
some people were turning on Snyder. Some people were turning on Snyder, like, what did they do to my boy? It's like, he's just a person, guys. Come on, like.
Oof, yeah, that's Snyder Code. Oof. Yeah, we won't get too
It's
deep
very
into that,
parasocial. Now that I think about it, that Snyder Code has a very parasocial relationship with him. Like, they're so protective of him. And I'm like, have y'all seen the shit he put out on Netflix? Like, that's not good. It's really bad. I can't even remember the name of that movie.
Rebel Moon?
That?
Rebel Moon? Something? Yeah.
I tried to forget it. It was bad. I saw it with my grandma. My grandma was like, what? I didn't like that. She's like 90 years old. was like, oh, Grandma.
So fucking long. And there are way too many slow-mo
eternal,
scenes,
if you will.
No, he overdoes the slow-mo.
No shit, huh? He should have just stuck with Army of the Dead.
Oh, come on, Rodney. Give it a chance. He's actually acting really well in this.
The only thing that's going to get me to watch is John Cena, actually.
What will get you to watch, you said?
It actually will get me to watch it because I saw Twitter spoiled it for me. And of course, my queer community on Twitter has let me in on the know of some things that are happening in the show currently. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, I just might, tune in. I'm interested now.
So let me just tell y'all, if you watched The Boys and you saw the little super orgy episode, all I'm gonna say is there's some similar things going on here. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't say too much, but I was watching. I was like, God damn, they got into it.
I will give it a chance. She did.
Tyler said, "Not grandma here watching Rebel Moon."
She did.
Man,
my grandma will watch anything.
Didn't get entertained. Poor grandma. Damn.
Yeah, there's an audience for everything.
And Zack Snyder, I'm sorry. I'm not Target anymore, man. At the Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2, I ain't Target.
For sure.
But y'all, thank you all so much for joining us here on Geekly Goods Roundup. Let's go around the horn and let the people know where they can find you guys and what you have coming up. Starting with you, Elay.
Oh my gosh. You can find me at Captain Melendez over on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can also find me and my fellow critics, very talented critics, over at PR Critics on Twitter and Instagram. We also have the PRCA podcast available wherever you listen to podcasts, in particular on Spotify. There's going to be a lot of fall festival season coverage coming up. We have Hector Gonzalez covering Locarno. We're going to have a couple critics covering the New York Film Festival. So really fun, a little bit different side of movie critic conversation that we see on Geekly Goods, but it is also always a fun time, and I love listening to their perspectives on things because they're not only are they tend to review different movies, but they tend to be wildly different takes on things, and it's always just a good time. We love to disagree with each other, honestly.
Hey, healthy disagreement is the way to make an entertaining program.
For sure.
Hey, you gotta have a healthy disagreement. But y'all definitely be sure to follow her over on social media platforms and follow PR Film Critics, y'all. Tune in for the awesome debates that they have on movies. Friendly, good, constructive debates, because my goodness, there is some crazy shit out here. But Lo, let the people know where they can find you and what you got coming up.
You can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud critic and writer for the Cinema Spot. Follow us on all socials. I see you, Eli. Follow us on all socials at the Cinema Spot. We have a lot of great reviews out right now. We got a review for Together, Weapons, Naked Gun. What was one? Neja, the awesome billion-dollar film from China that's making its way to the States courtesy of A24. So check us out on thecinemaspot.com.
Y'all definitely be sure to check them out over on thecinemaspot.com. Yo, Nerjung 2. Oh my God, the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Crazy. Definitely got to check that one out. But y'all, if you're over here on Geekly Goods, if it's your first time, hit that subscribe button, y'all. We live stream every single Monday night, 6 p.m. PT. Come on back. But y'all, we also do videos all day long on the channel. We just dropped, actually, I think it's about to come up. I think it just dropped first look at season 2 of Fallout. Also got reviews on the way for a couple of different Netflix shows I'm not allowed to mention, but Wednesday season 2 review is up on the channel, as well as the review for Peacemaker season 2 and Butterfly, Amazon Prime series that was a joy to watch. Daniel Day Kim's best role yet. Finally seeing him in a lead role in TV was phenomenal. Y'all definitely be sure to come back next week, same time, same place. We'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.